Good afternoon, students. We will start now. Okay. So yesterday we have solved this problem based on KNN algorithm. Currently we are studying our second unit, that is instance-based learning, and from that category we are learning one of the most popular machine learning algorithm called KNN, that is K nearest neighbor, and you can utilize KNN for classification and regression task. So in this problem we have used KNN for classification. So here K is given as 3 and few samples are given. So we have two features, so we can easily plot them and visualize this data, and this x equals to 1 and y equals to 1 is our test query. Okay, so we have to predict the label for this test sample, and as k equals to k is given as 3, we have to find the 3 nearest neighbors, and we have observed that this second one and this one are the closest one. See their labels. Okay, so most common label is plus symbol. Okay, so these three are the three nearest neighbors. Their labels are positive. Okay, so we'll label this unknown instance as positive. Okay, so we have used the KNN for classification. So let us utilize KNN for regression. So this is our second problem. So here the problem is use KNN to predict the missing value and consider k equals to 3.
Will you share screenshots at the end of the session?
Yes. So now see, this value is missing. Okay, so this weight is our output attribute. Okay, and this SN is just the row identifier, so we will ignore this. So based on the height and age we have to predict the weight value. Okay, and as you can see, the weight values are continuous one. Okay, so this is the continuous valued attribute, so this is a regression task. Okay, so as k equals to 3, we have to find the 3 nearest neighbor. Okay, so again nothing is mentioned about the distance to be used, so we'll go with the Euclidean distance. Okay, now let us find out the Euclidean distance. So Euclidean distance formula is given by, so I will not write the distance formula. So Euclidean distance between height and so this is my test sample. Okay, this is my test sample. So what we have to take, so we have to take distance of this sample from each of these samples. Okay, this 8th one is the test sample, so we'll take the distance between 1 and 8, 2 and 8, 3 and 8 and so on. Okay, so we'll get 7 distances. Euclidean distance of test sample from other. Okay, so let us find the distances. So we know that we have to take the difference between the one attribute. Okay, so we'll take the difference. Okay, square of the distance. Okay, so 6 minus 5.8 square plus 40 minus 37 square, right? Okay, then next 6.11 minus 5.8 square plus 26 minus 37 square. Then 5.9 minus 5.8 square plus 30 minus 37 square. 5.8 minus 5.8 square plus 32 minus 37 whole square. Okay, then (33 minus 37 whole square). Minus 5.8 whole square plus 34 minus 37 whole square. And for the last possible pair, 5.5 minus 5.8 whole square plus 35 minus 37 whole square. Okay, now this will come out to be, so I will not find the square root. So without finding the square root also you can compare the values. So because square root is there for all values, right? (16.25), 9.04, 4.09. Now out of this, which ones are the closest one? Okay, so ignore the square root and just compare the values. Okay, so 9, 121, so 9 and 4. So this is the closest one, second closest and third closest. Okay, that means first sample, sixth sample and seventh sample are the closest one. You refer their weight values, so 60, 78 and 80, and take their mean. Okay, and that will be the value of missing. Okay, so as the distance is list for first, sixth and seventh sample, the weight value for the test sample is the average of weight value of these three nearest neighbors. Okay, so the missing value, okay, or x, is 60 plus 78 plus 80 divided by 3, and it will come out to be 72.67. Okay, so this is how you can utilize KNN for regression task. Okay, any doubt in this? Simple, right? So you find the k nearest neighbor, okay, and take the average. Okay, so yes, so here we have to observe one thing. See, the height values are pretty close to each other, right? Okay, whereas age values, they are having the larger difference. Okay, now one thing you can notice here, so this age value will impact more on the distance, right? So while solving the numerical, we are ignoring the importance which the attribute is getting. Okay, but during the actual implementation, okay, so what we are assuming in KNN, every attribute has the equal impact, right? Okay, so here what is happening, age is getting higher importance here. See the difference. Okay, so in the difference of height, so we are getting 0.2 value, but here we are getting 3. Okay, so in this value, this is coming from the height and this value is coming from the age. Okay, so you can see age is getting the higher importance. So what we do generally, the solution is feature scaling or feature normalization. Okay, so we have this will be your pre-processing task. Okay, so normalization. So in normalization, what we do, we scale every attribute in one common range. Okay, let's say 0 to 1. Okay, so height, so we will normalize height. Okay, so the least value in this range will get 0, the highest value in this range will get 1, and other attribute will get scaled accordingly. Okay, so age, height will be converted into 0 to 1 range, age will be converted to 0 to 1 range, 0 to 1. Okay, now there are differences. Okay, so this value also get scaled. Okay, so now their differences will be in same range. Okay, so now one attribute will not get advantage over the other. Okay, so here the problem is, this is the observation we have done from this example. One attribute is getting advantage over the others, or in other words you can say that it is impacting more on the distance, right? Okay, so the solution is we will scale the features. Okay, so we'll bring all the attributes on the same battlefield. Okay, so they will have the same range. Okay, and then their difference will be somewhat in same range. Okay, so any doubt in numericals? Here you have to find the majority class, here you have to take the average. Okay, so we are discussing instance based learning. Okay, so it will be just a recap of the concept that we have seen so far. So in instance based learning, why it is called instance based learning? Because when you want to predict or classify the given test sample, you consider its neighborhood, right? Okay, so you refer the local instances, and based on that you are predicting or classifying the given sample. That's why it is called instance based learning. In training phase, we simply store the training examples. Okay, but for every prediction you have to refer all the training examples, right? So generally during the training phase, what we do, we index the training examples. Okay, we use different data structures so that our searching becomes efficient. Okay, there are data structure called KD tree. Generally we use KD tree to store the yes, so we use KD tree to store the training examples. Okay, so here what we are doing, we are indexing our training examples. Okay, and that's why our searching will become efficient. And for each new query instance, we find the relationship to the previously stored examples, and in order to assign the target function value for the new instance, right? And this learning method are also called as lazy learning. Why? Because here we are delaying the process until the new instance must be classified. Okay, so we are not processing our training examples as such. Okay, and we are doing the processing when we have to predict the class or predict the unknown value for the given instance. Okay, that's why such learning methods are called lazy learning methods. Now what are the advantages that we are getting? When the target function is very complex, but it can be still described by the collection of less complex local approximation. Okay, so I will explain this point through one example. Okay, when the target function is very complex, but with the help of this instance based learning, we can still predict the target function with the approximation over the local neighborhood. Okay, so we'll see this point through one example. The disadvantages are the cost of classifying new instance can be high. Okay, why? Because this is due to the fact that nearly all computation takes place at the classification time. Okay, so we are comparing the neighbors at the classification time rather than when the training examples are first encountered. Okay, but so this is in contrast with the decision tree. So what happens in decision tree? So in training phase we learn our decision tree, right? So in case of a decision tree, we utilize the training example to build our decision tree. Okay, and during the classification task we simply refer this decision tree. Okay, so we don't look into the training examples, we just refer this decision tree and predict the label, right? But what is happening in KNN? For each prediction you have to refer all the training examples. Okay, and second problem is the curse of dimensionality. Yes, so here we are considering all the attributes, right? Okay, so let me tell you one example. What is this curse of dimensionality? And this instance based learning are very much prone to this problem. Okay, so now consider you have 20 attributes. Attributes are given. Okay, and you have two samples, let's say x1 and x2. They are very similar. Okay, and x1 and x3, they are very dissimilar. So we know this fact that x1 and x2 are similar. Okay, and x1 and x3 are very dissimilar. Now out of these two, let's say only two are relevant and rest 18 are irrelevant features. Okay, so now this, when we are saying x1 and x2 are similar, that means they will have very closer value for these two relevant features. I can show you if I plot these values. Let's say this is x1 values, x2 values. Okay, for the relevant values. Okay, so I may have a graph like this. Okay, so this is my first feature, second feature, third feature, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, and so on. Okay, and so these are the readings for okay. So now when you find a distance between x1 and x2, what you generally do, you find the difference between their corresponding features. So I will be finding this distance, then this distance, right? Okay, so distance between x1 and x2 will be higher. Why? Because along with the relevant attributes, you are considering the irrelevant attributes also, right? Okay, so these irrelevant attributes are making more impact on the final distance. Okay, in KNN we give equal importance to each features. Okay, this is my feature 1, this is feature 2, feature 3, so up to feature 20. Okay, because of this 18 irrelevant attributes, I am getting higher value. But what may happen in case of x1 and x3? They may be well apart for first two feature. Okay, but they may be similar in remaining 18 irrelevant attributes. Getting my point? Okay, they are very apart for the relevant attribute. Okay, but when you observe the remaining 18 attributes, 18 irrelevant attribute, they are similar, and the resultant distance will be still less for this two. So are you going to say that x1 and x3 are similar in this case? No, we should not, right? So distance between x1 and x3 is smaller as compared to this distance. Okay, this problem is known as curse of dimensionality. Got the concept? Okay, so when you consider all the attribute, you may have some irrelevant attributes there. Okay, that we have to eliminate actually. Yes, so the reason for curse of dimensionality is you are considering all the attributes and you are giving more equal importance to each attribute. And yesterday we have discussed the k nearest neighbor. So here we find the k training examples, and at training time we just simply save the training example. At prediction time, if you have classification task, predict the most frequent class. For the regression, you just predict the average of yi's. Yi's are the output values of k neighbors, right? Okay, this is one example. So first one is the 5 nearest neighbor. So xq is my query example. Okay, I will find the 5 nearest neighbor which can be enclosed by this circle. Okay, so the majority class is negative, so I will predict this sample as negative. But what if my k value is 1? So I can see the one nearest neighbor is positive, so xq could have been labeled with positive. Okay, so that k value is very important. This is known as Voronoi diagram, and you will get Voronoi diagram when you set k equals to 1. Okay, on the right is the decision surface induced by one nearest neighbor algorithm. Okay, so you get such convex polygon, and how to create it, we know the method. So you have to consider two labels, then draw a perpendicular bisector. Okay, and just find out the intersection. Okay, so this example is taken from our Tom Michel book. Okay, so curse of dimensionality. Okay, so what is the issue with KNN? The distance between the instances is calculated based on all the attributes, right? The distance between neighbors may be dominated by the large number of irrelevant attributes. So in our example, there were 18 irrelevant attributes. Okay, so they were dominating the distance. This difficulty, which arises when many irrelevant attributes are present, is sometimes referred as curse of dimensionality. Okay, so this is our problem. So how to overcome that? Okay, so there are two solutions. First one is to weight each attribute differently. Okay, so for the first two feature, we'll get higher weight. We will give higher weight. Okay, and for the rest of the 18 attribute, we'll give very less weight. Okay, so they will have less impact then. And how to learn those weights? So what we can do, we will use the cross validation approach. Okay, so we'll try to minimize the true classification error. Okay, so we'll go iteration by iteration and we'll try to reduce our classification error. Okay, thereby we will learn the weights. Okay, so we can weight each attribute differently, give the more importance to the relevant attribute, or we can completely eliminate the least relevant attributes. Okay, so for this we can use leave one out cross validation. Okay, so do you remember the cross validation technique? So there we divide our data set into k subsets, right? This is known as k-fold cross validation. K-fold cross validation, right? So we divide our data set into k subset and we use one set for testing and others for training. Okay, in next iteration we treat this as a testing set and remaining as training, and so on, right? So we'll have k iteration. In this leave one out cross validation, what we do, consider you have 10 samples. Okay, so you will leave one attribute, okay, and consider the remaining one and build the model. Okay, so once you get the most irrelevant attribute, your classification accuracy will be highest. Okay, so thereby you will identify the most irrelevant one, so you eliminate that. Okay, you can repeat this procedure for removing the more number of irrelevant attributes. Okay, so this is second solution for this problem. Okay, so same example is given here. Consider applying KNN problem in which each instance is described by 20 attributes, but where only 2 of these attributes are relevant. Okay, in this case, instances that have identical value for 2 relevant attributes may nevertheless be distant from one another in the 20-dimensional instance space. Okay, they may be far away in remaining 18 attributes, right? So as a result, the similarity metric used by KNN depending on 20 attribute will be misleading, right? So distance between the neighbors will be dominated by a large number of irrelevant attributes. That problem is known as curse of dimensionality. Okay, so in tomorrow's lecture we'll be discussing the feature reduction. Okay, so now we will discuss one example through which that advantage will be more clear to you. Okay, so we have discussed this one advantage, right? So when the target function is very complex, then in that case KNN will be the best option actually. Instead of going for different complex machine learning algorithm, KNN will be much easier. Okay, consider so this is my district, okay, and elections are happening in my district, and we know that district is made up of different wards, right? Okay, so this is my ward, let's say. So this is the entire district and this is my ward. Okay, so consider there is one ward member, okay, which was the ward member for last regime. Okay, now consider he has done a great work in my ward. Okay, so there are different person in this ward. Okay, now I can predict the result of this ward based on his performance, right? Getting the example? Okay, now the scenario of next ward can be different. Okay, if there is no work done in this ward, these people will have different opinion. Okay, these people will have some other opinion, right? Okay, so now the decision of one particular neighborhood is dependent on the that particular localhood, right? Okay, and now see here we are having a complex structure. Now suppose if you want to go with decision tree or SVM, let's say, the finding the ideal decision boundary will be very difficult in this scenario. Okay, getting my point? I think that okay, so that will explain this. This example is explaining the importance of KNN. Okay, so sometimes the local, the pattern in the local hood will be important for predicting the that particular value. Okay, so this is one point. Second point is I can explain the curse of dimensionality from the same example. For so consider this is me and my neighbor. Okay, so now we will be having different features. Okay, so this is me x1 and x2. Let's say first attribute is my opinion about my ward member. Next attribute is my age, let's say, then my income, then my caste, okay, and so on. Okay, and my neighbors will have same features: opinion, age, income, and caste. Okay, as we have discussed, we have the same opinion, and this feature is going to affect more on the election, right? Irrespective of my age, income, and caste and religion, right? This is the most important feature. Other features are irrelevant, right? Okay, and if I consider all the attribute, then you may get different result for me and for my neighbor. Okay, got the example? Anyone?
Yes.
Yes. So result depends on the local area. Okay, so from this example also you can remember the importance of KNN. See the pattern, it is very complex. It will be very hard to find the proper decision boundary. Okay, which features to be selected in case of a decision tree. Okay, so we'll stop here, and that completes our first topic from this unit. Okay, so this is instance based learning. In Thursday's lecture we will be discussing feature reduction.